Today, we're delving into the gripping world of bikers. Scott Jr. Ereckson emerges as one of the most legendary leaders in the Mongols' biker history. Under his command, the Mongols expanded their influence and grew in power. Junior's journey begins as an ordinary teenager with a deep desire to become one of the tough guys. He sets his sights on joining the Mongols and works his way up from being the youngest prospect in the club's history. However, his path is marred by multiple encounters with the prison system. Prepare yourself for a dramatic tale that unfolds in paragraphs filled with intensity and intrigue. If you're captivated by this story, I encourage you to stay tuned until the end and support me on this platform with a like. Let's embark on this riveting journey together. Cue the music. Our story transports us back to the year 1960 in San Diego, California. Junior grows up in a decent neighborhood, raised by a caring family. However, during his formative years, he enters a rebellious phase, becoming one of the troublemakers in high school. In 1974, a fateful event leaves an indelible mark on young Scott. While out fishing with a friend by the lake, they encounter a man who stops his motorcycle to smoke. This man embodies the quintessential biker image, with his long hair, robust build, and a tattoo on his forearm symbolizing a military victory. Junior is captivated by his presence, realizing that he wants to become just like him someday. Inspired by this encounter, Scott sets out to cultivate his bad boy image. He engages in sports, playing football and even taking up boxing. Alongside his athletic pursuits, he develops an intense passion for motorcycles. He begins immersing himself in biker magazines, with his eyes set on owning a Harley-Davidson someday. Upon reaching a crucial crossroads in his life, faced with the choice of attending college or starting work, Scott decides to return to San Diego to chase his dreams. Back in San Diego, he is determined to fulfill his aspiration of purchasing a motorcycle. Scott takes up a construction job, diligently saving every penny, but it still isn't enough to afford his dream bike. A colleague suggests selling gas as a quick way to earn money. Without hesitation, Scott seizes the opportunity and starts selling. With this newfound income, he manages to acquire a Harley-Davidson Super Glide for $3,400. Initially, Scott rides with his childhood friends, but he soon starts mingling with individuals from the biker scene. He befriends a full patch member of the Mongols, and they begin riding together. Scott becomes increasingly enamored with the biker lifestyle. At the tender age of 18, his association with motorcycles grants him access to any bar, solely due to his rider status. Yet, this connection also exposes him to grave risks. During this period, the battle for territorial supremacy in California rages on between the Hells Angels and the Mongols. Despite the inherent danger, Scott chooses to align himself more closely with the Mongols. He is even invited to the Mongols clubhouse and becomes an unofficial member. Scott revels in the life he has always yearned for since that fateful day by the lake. He fully embraces the biker lifestyle, becoming a true road warrior. He gradually assumes club responsibilities, solidifying his place within the Mongols. After some time, Scott decides to commit fully to the club. He has proven his dedication time and time again, earning the respect of many fellow bikers. Despite being only 20 years old at the time, the Mongols make an exception and grant him full patch membership. However, before bestowing this honor upon him, they hold a conversation with Scott, enlightening him about the perils that accompany the biker lifestyle. They emphasize that he may end up in an early grave or incarcerated. Junior is well aware of what he is getting himself into and places his trust in the club. Junior, as he is affectionately called due to being the youngest full patch member, wholeheartedly embraces his newfound role. His already radical lifestyle becomes more intense. He begins carrying a weapon, convinced that he and his brothers are invincible. However, reality has a way of shattering illusions. The Hells Angels prove to be formidable adversaries, and Junior experiences the heart-wrenching loss of his first brothers during confrontations with the rival motorcycle club. This tragedy ignites something within him. Subsequently, his life takes a dramatic turn when, during a bar confrontation, a Hells Angels member is fatally injured. Junior is held accountable, and the police tirelessly pursue the case, exerting immense pressure on the Mongols. Sensing the mounting heat, Junior leaves the city and vanishes into the depths of Oklahoma, where another Mongols chapter exists. With the club's assistance, he assumes a new identity and manages to elude capture. The game of hide and seek lasts for 6 months, until Junior receives news that 3 of his brothers have been arrested in connection with the incident. Moved by loyalty and a sense of responsibility, he decides to return to San Diego and surrender himself to the police. Although Junior is the primary perpetrator, his club brothers shoulder the blame for a drug dealer they had previously saved from a life sentence. All of them accept their fate, resulting in sentences ranging from 4 to 8 years behind bars. Junior remains imprisoned until 1986 when, at the age of 26, he is granted parole. The terms of his release are strict, prohibiting any contact with Mongols members. However, this restriction is only in effect for 1 year. It appears that Junior has an opportunity to break free from the madness. He secures a legitimate job and keeps his distance from the motorcycle club. However, on the very day his parole ends, he is back on the road with the Mongols. Due to his unwavering loyalty, he is immediately appointed vice president. A year later, he ascends to the position of national president of the Mongols. Junior embodies the ideal leader for the club, consistently rallying his men and displaying fearlessness in the face of adversity. He even takes a front row seat during a biker meeting that erupts into a clash between the Hells Angels and the Mongols in Fort Worth, New York. The brawl ensues, and Junior finds himself at the epicenter of the chaos. Repeatedly elected as the national president, Junior's life undergoes another transformative event in 1998. He becomes embroiled in a bar altercation where he is suddenly attacked. However, he manages to overpower his assailant, even though the attacker wields a knife. The incident seems like something he can leave behind, so he simply returns home. But his assailant is not yet finished. He reports Junior and the others to the police for assault. Junior is swiftly arrested and asserts self-defense to the authorities. Although the police remain skeptical of his story, matters take a turn for the worse during the subsequent trial. He is found guilty, and a sentence of 14 years is imposed upon him. Junior's lawyer, however, refuses to accept defeat. They persist in searching for evidence to prove his innocence and eventually unearth enough material to reopen the case. This time, Junior is acquitted, and the court awards him a compensation of $3.2 million for the wrongful imprisonment. Nevertheless, he is still on parole, with the same conditions as before: no contact with Mongols members. Shortly after these events, a photograph emerges showing Junior drinking a beer with a fellow club member. As a consequence, the $3.2 million compensation is rescinded, and he is sent back to prison. During his time behind bars, Junior reflects deeply on his life. He decides to pen a book about his experiences, which eventually evolves into 2 books. Even from within the confines of prison, Junior shares his story, and upon his release, he promptly returns to Utah and marries his wife around 2004. In 2009, he establishes another Mongols chapter in Utah. That concludes the story of Scott Jr. Ereckson, up until today. He is renowned as one of the most prominent leaders in the history of the Mongols. Now, let me pose a question to you. How would you have chosen to utilize the $3 million? Would you have embraced a life of enjoyment and disappearance, or would you proclaim, "I don't care, I'll live again"? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching this gripping tale. Until the next time we meet behind the bars.